Today's gospel is from St. John. Jesus revealed himself again to his disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. He revealed himself in this way. Together were Simon Peter, Thomas called Didymus, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, Zebedee's sons, and two others of his disciples. Simon Peter said to them, "I am going fishing." They said to him, "We also will come with you." So they went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. When it was already dawn, Jesus was standing on the shore, but the disciples did not realize it was Jesus. Jesus said to them, "Children, have you caught anything to eat?" They answered him, "No." So he said to them, "Cast the net over the right side of the boat, and you will find something." So they cast it, and were not able to pull it in because of the number of fish. So the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." When Simon Peter heard it was the Lord, he tucked in his garment, for he was lightly clad, and jumped into the sea. The other disciples came in the boat, for they were not far from shore, only about 100 yards, dragging the net with the fish. When they climbed out on shore, they saw a charcoal fire with fish on it and bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish you just caught." So Simon Peter went over and dragged the net ashore full of 153 large fish. Even though there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, "Come, have breakfast." And none of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" because they realized it was the Lord. Jesus came over and took the bread and gave it to them, and in like manner the fish. This was now the third time Jesus was revealed to his disciples after being raised from the dead. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. This morning we continue to see these new accounts of the Lord's resurrection, these new appearances of the risen Lord. And today, among the other many things that are new in this scene, it's the location. Today, for the first time, they are up in Galilee. They're up along Lake Galilee, Lake Tiberias. And it was there that they have an encounter with God. It was here that long ago they had encountered him when he first called them. Remember, they were fishermen. They went back to the usual place of work. They went back to that which they were familiar with. And it was here that they had this encounter with the risen Jesus. You know, it's not too early to begin to think what going back to normal looks like. It's not too early to begin to think of the summertime and the end of this quarantine. And yet we know it will be different. Not a bad type of analogy in thinking about our own lives. The difference that the risen Christ makes in our day-to-day life, in that which we are familiar. And as we see Jesus appearing in this familiar space along the sea, a familiar place to these fishermen, they continue to realize what is still unfamiliar to them. The hope that Christ brings, the power and the glory of his resurrection, and the good news that that is. Today, let us continue to thank God for the resurrection and invite that resurrection a little more deeply into our day-to-day life. God be with you.